had just about enough of that. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah.
With some crazy music there. Welcome to our show tonight. This is Ball Freak Live or JABO Jabber Friday night, and we have tonight with us Jay Davis, who is the sole investor for the Southern Bluebell Run, which happened on 6/18/2024. And so we did try and do a little show last week. We were plagued with a bunch of issues, and I actually deleted that video. So I'm hoping things are going on better this time around. And we need you, as our viewers, to let us know if you can't hear us, if things sound strange, if you're hearing an echo, which is what the problem was last week. We did a little test session a little earlier. Everything seemed to come out good. So we want to hear from you. Tonight, Jay has graciously agreed to give away five, count them, five box sets. So I will let Jay determine how we're going to do that. I got some ideas, though. He's got the little box there, and it's got that a beautiful Southern Blue Bell on it. Um, so Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about how you came into marble collecting.
Well, Jay Davis, I got into marbles, I guess about a year and a half ago, and just really got interested in JABO and D.A.S. and Sammy's. Uh, and just one thing led to another, and wanted to do a run, and got excited about it, got the colors together, and took them down, and Dave did his magic, as he normally does, you know.
Yeah. Now you've been involved in how many runs total so far?
Let's see, my first one was the Supernova run,
Okay.
and then did one with you,
Okay.
did the West Coaster run,
Yeah. With Lon,
and
Lon Marcy,
Autumn Surprise with Linda Simmons,
Linda Simmons. Yeah.
and then this one. Yeah, so I
Excellent.
need to slow down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, if you have the money, it's hard to slow down, right? I mean, it's so much fun, right? Anybody who hasn't been there, I always say this, and I think you would echo this too, right? If you can be there, be there. I mean, make the arrangements. Even if you can't afford to be a full investor or partial investor, reach out to Linda, reach out to Dave, reach out to somebody who's involved, see if you can just come down and just soak it all in. I mean, experience it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a dying art, and 10 years from now, who knows? It may be all gone, So
Yeah, for
if you
sure.
could get involved, I definitely would recommend it. I always love to go
Yeah, I know
and
there's a
be a
lot of
part of it.
people out there that have plans. They've talked to me over the last few years about developing a machine, putting a machine together, making marbles, and so far, I think Sammy and Dave are the only two that are producing independently machine-made marbles. And I mean, I'm absolutely no expert when it comes outside of who's producing in America anymore, but it seems to me like almost all the marbles that are coming to us in America, and at least in retail marketing, are all either from China or from Mexico, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, how
yeah.
did you come up with Bluebell? Why Southern Bluebell?
Well, I have three daughters, and now they're all grown and have grandkids now. So I wanted to do a tribute, of course, to them
Okay,
and to my wife Rena. So that's the four right there. Yeah, that's the picture. That's my
excellent.
wife. That's my wife there, the blonde, and then on my other side, that's Shannon, and on next to her is Kendall, and then next to Rena is Brianna.
Excellent. So we have a couple
So,
comments. Gary Green liked the show and also says hello, guys. That's from Cindy Devlin, and also I have Brandon Fogarty who's also saying hello, everyone.
oh
Um,
yeah, see there.
yeah. So we got that on the screen. That's working. That's really killer. Now my goal here is eventually to be doing this live on YouTube and Facebook and have viewers on both platforms. Who knows? Maybe one will win out over the other. Right now, our biggest platform is this one is Facebook, and in that regard, let's just jump over here real quick and take a look. If you are interested in these marbles, and we're going to be showing you some pictures and talking about them for the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, what you want to do is you want to take a little jump over to your Facebook page and you want to go over to Jay's Marbles for Sale. And that's this page right here. And you definitely can just reach out to Jay, send him a message through that page, And then you can also join his interactive group, which is Old and New Marbles. And this is 8,900 members already. And you've only had this site up and running like a year and a half, right?
Yeah, I guess a little over a year maybe.
Yeah, so it's
So,
are you doing good? I know you do a lot of things like it's Wonky Wednesday and Thursday Throwback and just to ask a historical question. And so kudos to you for doing all that and getting that all sorted out. But let's jump back over into the glass here and talk about the marbles a little bit. So as we look at the marbles, you sent me a bunch of stuff today. So these are all basically shots of the marbles here, and these are what, pink and white here.
yeah, I tell you, when I did this run, I was just afraid that it was going to come out like the last blue run, which was the blue racers they had,
Right.
and there was another. I think there might have been one other blue run, but it's completely different, and I'm thankful for that they did turn out with their own signature colors here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love this stark white with this pink on it. And you were saying earlier when we were chatting that you ended up. I know we have some collectors in the audience that love the twisters or the ram's heads, and so you said you got some of those as well.
Yeah. So, and really, what's interesting on the Rams heads on this run, they turned out on the Rams ears, the colors are multicolor, so it actually looks almost identical to a Rams horns there. So
Those are very cool. Yeah, I always like those. So that you were talking about these green ones. Tell us a little bit about this green and blue. What was your hope for it, and what was the actual outcome?
well, I tell you, the way this run worked out, I actually planned all of these colors, did the bagging of everything, and I took them down and I told Dave, I said, Dave, don't let me screw up here. Don't let me mess up.
Right.
So what Dave did is, I had about 30 bags of colors mixed, and this was probably some of those colors that I had put together. And so what Dave did is he chose the bags that he thought would work. So he kind of worked through, my colors to see what would work and what wouldn't work. So, but yeah, I mean, the colors just turned out amazing.
And how
And
many did you get out of your total run, this green and blue like this?
not very many. I would say maybe in the neighborhood of about 50 of those.
Wow. Wow.
So that there wasn't many, and there was actually, I don't even know if I sent you a picture. But there were some in there that we just had like about 20 of them, and they were a very interesting color. But they actually had some gold in them, a lot of brown. Yeah, and he did a lot of ox blood in there, which I'm glad he did. And he actually used a lot of goldstone, which made the ox blood.
Are these those ones you're
Um,
mentioning there?
yes, that is that one on the bottom left there. Yeah, there was only about 40 of those. So there are a few colors in there that were, very few of, the green and that
Right.
goldish color.
We just got a like from Jared Trout. Thank you for joining the stream, Jared. Hope everything's sounding good with everybody. Oh, I really like these. Tell us about these. Are these was this a planned color? This is something that was not
I think this
expected.
is something that just happened. I did not expect that, and I think that's the thing. What happens when you mix colors, you get things that you're just not expecting. And that's, I think, one of the wonders of making marbles because, and even Dave, he doesn't really know what's going to happen and what's going to turn out. And, things come out that like this that I never even expected, to be one of the colors. And actually, that's one of my favorites.
Well, we have 9 viewers right now, Jay. Do you think it's
Awesome.
time to maybe
I think so. I think so.
so
How we gonna do it?
how do we want to do that? So
Want to do a number or what you think?
I'm thinking trivia. I like trivia,
Okay.
and pop culture trivia. So let's uh, let's do this. What was the number one box office movie this past weekend that's making all the headlines?
Oh, mercy.
Who's throwing? Who knows the answer to that? Somebody's got to know the answer to that. Throw the answer in there. the first person to give us a correct answer that shows up on screen here, we're going to go ahead and Jay's going to take your name down, and we're going to make sure we get you out one of those boxes that Jay's giving away tonight. And while we're waiting for somebody to say that, here's some more ox blood on these blues. And yeah, some of that ox blood is really, really popping. It's really beautiful.
Really rich.
There we go.
Some of those...
Gary Green comes in with
he got it.
correct.
He got it.
Deadpool, Wolverine, and Deadpool. That's correct. Gary beat you out there. Excuse me. You know what? I am so sorry. Not Gary Green. It's Cindy Devlin, and I apologize. She was the first one to throw it out there.
I see it.
Now that actually isn't the actual name. It's Deadpool and Wolverine is the actual name, but it is a raucous movie. It is rated R. It's rated R for a good reason. So if you are a fan of that kind of stuff, head on out there. But Cindy Devlin, we're going to be basically looking out there. We got Andrew Wilson. I believe Andrew was there along with Jared Trout during this run. Is that right, Jay?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Andrew and Jared were paramount in getting things done. You know, when you do these runs, you cannot do it yourself. In fact, it usually takes in the neighborhood of, 7, 8 people minimum to do a run like this. It's funny when people see marbles, a lot of times they'll say, "Did you make these?" And I'm like, "Yeah, with 8 other people."
Looks like we got Ron Bowden now. He's checking in with us.
Hey, Ron. Good to see you.
Good
and
to
Jared,
see you, brother.
pray for Jared too. He's got some issues, some ear infection, might be some serious stuff. So pray for him. And I wanted to thank Jared and Andrew because they didn't accept any pay or anything. They just came, out of the goodness of their heart to help me with this run, and I really appreciated that. And so they got one of the premium sets with Dave's signature. So
we have a question from Phil, and I'm trying to pronounce your name here correctly. B Liar. And it says, where did all the specks of colors come from? Did you stand there and just sprinkle them in?
Yes, Dave did that, and he actually did it a lot on this run on both sides. You've got two runs that come down if you see the video, and he took time and did. I had, something interesting on this run that Dave used that he's never done before is I actually brought powdered glass. It was like a hot red powdered glass, but it looked yellow, and he put that in the furnace. He said, "We'll see what it does." And then when some of the colors were coming out, he said, "Yeah, I think that was from some of that powder stuff."
And you sent me this short little 3-second clip showing the UV there. It's looping right now, but it's got looks like orange and green combined UV there.
Yeah, let's see. I got one right here, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. That's it. It actually, I took a lot of.
Okay, hold that up. Keep that up there for a second. Let me switch this over.
Yeah, I took a lot of the colored glass, and Dave mixed those. We mixed those two in one of the parcels that he put in. So they really turned out good, especially the ones that have the double color like that. And it's funny too with UV, unless you have a UV flashlight, you don't, a lot of these glow. And I was surprised too about that, even though, I had brought that glass to do it with.
Here's some more of that, some orange UV. And there's another shot that some of the blue, some orange UV on it. Jay got to send me longer clips. It's too short. So I think this is those same marbles there. Just this is what they look like with the light on them.
Yeah, some of the marbles come out with just the red, and then some of them come out with that green and red combined, and some of those were really thin lines, so they really turned out interesting features on them.
All right.
And
and this was I was saying I really like this stark white on this with this. Is that a dark brown? Is that some
dark
aqua?
brown.
What is that? Some brown?
Yeah, that's kind of a dark brown. I think I might have one of those here too. Yeah, here's one right here.
Let me get you closer here. That's a pretty decent camera. Back it up a little bit because it's focused on your face. Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty. Those are really pretty marbles. Um, and then you did send me some, so I could take a few pictures. And those are in here. Here's just like a case that you dumped out while you were sorting. Is that what that
Yeah,
represents
yeah,
here?
yeah. And you look in there, you can see some of those that have really heavy ox blood. Some of them are almost completely ox blood, which was interesting. He put so much in there that it almost covered the blue on some of them, which I like that, you
Oh,
know.
that's cool. And
It's turned out
some that you
good.
spread out there. I do apologize for the thing there. We have 12 viewers here, and this is the actual cullet that was put in. It's one of the things I noticed when I was taking pictures is it's really much more of a lighter blue like this, right? It's not. I know sometimes in some of the pictures that you took, it was coming out and it was much more um, uh, darker blue. But when
Well,
I was photographing them, they were coming out much more lighter blue.
well, it's interesting, Matt, on this run because if you look at these two marbles, you wouldn't think that those come from the same run. But you had it actually turned like two or three different shades of blue in the run. It started, I was gonna see if I had one that's just, yeah, it started like this, and then it had kind of a darker, and then it turned this color. So it was like a, but I think what happened is Dave added some white, just a little bit of white into it that I think cut some of that blue and changed that color because when they come out, I was like, man, did this come off the same run? Because two different color blues.
Well, because I know that there are chemicals and the chemical process and the heat transfer and all like that, plus the blending of the glass. So, but
Hmm.
so the most of the ones that I ended up getting that you had sent me, and here's one that's got that really beautiful oxbow. You can see that aniline fracture there. And then a lot of times you don't see this until you take photos like this, obviously. But the blues appears much lighter. There's
Hmm.
some of that scoring and the crazing that occurs as a result of the roller. Small seam on that one, and this is one of my favorite ones that you sent me. It's just gorgeous, ox blood with that kind of curl right there, and then the other side is like a ram's head.
Hmm.
So we have 9 viewers, so we're dropping off. People are showing up. We got Mary Torres, just like Harry Torres, just like the show, and so now we got 8 viewers. So maybe it's time to give away a couple more of the boxes.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got four more.
We got 4 more boxes. So what should we do this time?
How about a Bible verse?
A Bible verse. Oh, okay. How about the first two? Yeah, how many we got to give away? Four?
Four more.
4 more. So let's say the first 3 people who share their favorite Bible verse through the comments here, we will Jay will take down your name and make sure that you get a set of these marbles. I will share my favorite Bible verse, and that's going to be.
You already have your box.
Yeah,
You don't get a box.
I don't get a box, but I'm sharing my Bible verse anyways. I actually really like Romans chapter 8, and 8:28 is one of my favorite passages. So I definitely love God. Romans 8:28 and 29.
Look
Andrew's
at
also
that.
in. Look at that. Yeah.
It's his favorite
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. A lot of people's. Andrew's all share my box. Oh, that's funny, Andrew. Oh, I think. Can you show the box? I think that's what he's
I
asking
can
us to see
try. I
that.
dumped them out before
Yeah,
when I
we don't
tried
want to
that.
knock. We don't want to dump them out. Let me get you up here closer in the screen.
Let's
So
see.
there we go.
Here we go. Let's see if I can do it without tipping them
There you
over.
go.
Mm.
That's good enough. Andrew. And then we have Brandon Fogarty said he shares John 3:16, and if you know Jay, Jay writes that verse inside his boxes when he sends them to you. John 3:16. Okay, we got one more box to give away. I got 10 viewers. Please share your favorite Bible scripture. For those of you interested. And one more. We have two. We have Andrew Wilson, Brandon Fogarty, and Cindy Devlin so far for your notes there, Jay.
Okay.
Nobody else wants to share a scripture to get a box. Oh, man. Well, we only got 10 more minutes before we're going to have to close out here. So if you'd like to participate, just send a comment through with your favorite scripture, and it'll pop up here on the screen, and we'll get you a box. In the meantime, let's jump back over here for a couple more minutes, look at a few more of these gorgeous marbles that Jay produced with Dave at D.A.S. in West Virginia. Here's one of those green ones that you sent me. Really pretty, pretty. And then, of course, the confettis. A lot of people really like the confettis. So
Yeah.
those are really nice. And this one has like some oxblood stripes. It's really cool. And what I like about this one is some of it's on the surface, and then it starts going down just subsurface. Do you have any thoughts on how to spark more interest in marbles? Cindy Devlin's asking that question.
I think with kids today, they are so into video games. You've almost got to have, and I know they do this tournaments and things with kids. I think that's where it's going to run into. I think like with me and Matt, it's kind of nostalgia from our youth.
Yep.
But getting kids involved, I have some people that buy marbles from me that buy them for their grandchildren, and I think that's a great way to present them to your kids and grandkids as something, an alternative.
So we
of
have two
enjoyment.
more verses. John 1:9 by Brian
Okay,
Ketzdever. And then
good deal.
Ron Bowden shared John 16:33.
All right, so is that our 5?
That would be all 5 now.
That went good.
Yes, it did. So we're gonna have. It says here, have Mike Rowe do another special with Dave. That would be cool.
He might do it.
I don't know what Mike Rowe's doing these days. I know that when that show aired, I don't know, I had purchased about a case worth of Eagles, and they sold like gangbusters after Mike Rowe came on the show. It was pretty amazing. But we are definitely running out of time here. For those of you who don't know, we're using a free version of Zoom, which allows us 40 minutes of airtime. So we're fast approaching that now. I do appreciate everybody that is on the show. Jay, is there anything you want to mention just before you go? Anything you'd like to highlight before we go off the air?
I would like to say, any of the 5 people, if you reach out to me through the Jay's Marbles for Sale, I'll make sure to ship these off to you. And also just let everybody know, because we've just scratched the surface in selling these things. I've still got a lot, and they're beautiful marbles, and that's one of the great things about being an investor. You get to share them. You get to share a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
No, the great thing about being an investor is you get to keep all the best ones for yourself.
yeah. Yeah. But at some point you get so many you
Oh
just
yeah,
you like to share,
for sure. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions, if you have any thing that you want to hear about. We did have a request for a look at the wildfire run, and I actually purchased 200 of those. And so that will be coming up here. It'll be something I'll be doing in the near future. I am not going to be on the air next Friday night. I am on vacation next week. So please feel free to send questions, thoughts, ideas. Keep those pictures coming. Make sure you look at the show notes, and it's got a lot of links in there to some bulletin boards. It's got links not only for modern D.A.S. and JABO marbles, but also for all machine mades. All About Marbles is a great group, and also Marble Connection. The best things about marble collecting is the people. I've made many friends, says Andrew Wilson. And Phil Bibler says, that got me introduced to marbles with Dave. And then also Cindy Devlin saying there that she agrees with you that kids need to get more involved. And we need to also give marbles to kids. And I appreciate every one of you. I hope that this show went a lot better. I did see during the show somebody did say, could we turn the volume up a little more? If the volume's too low for you, I mean, I need to. I will listen afterwards, but I don't want the volume to be so high that people are like, "Wow, he's hurting my ears." I do have a very deep voice, and so I'm trying to keep it somewhere in the mid range so that basically you can just turn up your volume and you should be able to hear me good, especially if you had some headphones or something. Last words, Jay?
I appreciate you doing this, and I know it takes a lot of time to set up something like this. When you're seeing it on air, you don't realize what all goes into it, but I certainly appreciate all the time you took to do it.
I
So,
appreciate you bearing with me. I appreciate with Marble Avenger, Richie, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, and we had some bad stuff. Andrew Wilson says volume's good with a thumbs up. Thank you, Andrew. And I'm loving that we got the Facebook, at least the Facebook chat is up on the screen now. So that's very useful. It helps us to see things and be able to respond in some sort of fairly close to real time, because I know there is some lag and delay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let it get us on out here. And if you have any questions, you can always come to the JABO Marbles and More group. You can post messages to me there, or you can join one of the other groups. Those links are all in the show notes, and you'll be able to join all those different groups. And if you have questions about where to go buy these marbles, I'll always point you in the right direction, because Jay is my man there when it comes to the Southern Bluebells. And just want to remember his family. And let me see if I can get that picture up here real quick. Let's see, let's go all the way through here down towards the end. And it's just some really nice artwork that you put together here. But I want to go out just so we can remember who those actual bells are. And thank you for sharing them. Thank you for coming on the show. And let me get this out of the full screen because we're blocking off some heads there. And again, everyone have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for the good wishes on my vacation, and I hope y'all keep marbling. Again, if you have any questions, just give us a shout, and have a good evening.
we'll see you later.